right, next up we have the Umbrella Academy, and Jolie suggested that, so...
The author is Gerard Way, and the art is by Gabriel Bá. It's just a 6-issue run of the first volume. It's about 6 beings who are born into this world and are adopted by another being called the Monocle, and his death, spoiler alert, his death kind of brings them together to re-save the world. And that's kind of where it takes off from there. So it's not really a spoiler, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you think of it? What made you bring it to the table?
I actually heard a young girl talking about it in a comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day. She was actually looking for it specifically because the author of this book is the lead singer for My Chemical Romance. So, who, I mean, I don't know about you ladies, but I thought that was kind of interesting, and it's like, you know...
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't really... Usually when they collaborate like that, it's not all the time that best.
Yeah.
But actually, no, I was surprised. I was actually surprised when you told me that, because I had no idea. I just read The Umbrella Academy, and then you told me that the lead singer of My Chemical Romance actually wrote it, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, and I think when I was telling Jenny, she was like, my what?
Well, and it's actually, you brought up too that in the Umbrella Academy, when they make mention of him and they do his little biography, it just says at the end, and he's in a band, which was cool. But getting back to the comic book, how do you guys feel?
I enjoyed it personally. It was an easy read. I really liked the concept and the story behind it, and about like finding these 7 children who were born at exactly the same time. Well, there were 42 born, but he found 7 of them, and they each have their own like superpower, so to speak, and how they all tie together. And it was interesting to find that they had separated from each other for such a long period of time, and then obviously the death of their father brought them back together. I would recommend it. I really liked it. Like I said, it was a really easy read. The artwork I thought was awesome. I found that it became better written as issues went on. Like, his story and everything was really cool, but it was a little weak in parts as far as like the actual dialogue and that. But as it went on, I think it got better. And I think probably with him, it's just like almost adapting to it and feeling easier in his skin as he wrote it and developed the characters and everything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of character development, that's one thing that I definitely noticed in this that sometimes is lacking in other stories, where they really spent a lot of time playing each character off of each other, and because it's not all just about kids, and they don't spend the whole time being kids. They grow up, and they really have their own little distinct personality, and they're an incredibly dysfunctional family. And I really like that, because it added a lot of like realism to it. You could relate to it, but it's also in this fantastical kind of environment and with these crazy villains. And it surprised me, because at first when I started going through it, I didn't know if it was going to have a juvenile feel to it, but I actually really, really liked it. And as I read it, I really, really enjoyed it.
It wasn't just each character and their story and their personality that was important. It was the dynamic between them. You know, so-and-so loves so-and-so and hates this other character, and so-and-so never grows up. It was, I did not think it was an easy read. I started it 3 times, and I ended up having to make a diagram to figure out who was who and what their powers were. And each character has a number, a name, and a code name.
Well, that's what I liked about each issue. I like the trade. I don't know if I had it, but each issue at the very front, they had each character again and reintroduced it. No. And it was like that's another fact that it made me appreciate it even more. Like on the, not even like the first page, but like the front cover.
Okay, yeah.
It developed each one.
That.
Yeah.
That would have been helpful.
And
but I liked it. It was edgy and weird, and the art blew me away.
Yeah. Would you guys? I'm assuming you guys would recommend it.
I would.
I'll read more.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading the 2nd volume, so it gets so much better. So I definitely recommend this book.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up we have Crossed, and so take it away.